Hey, what's going on, everybody out there? I just got some major breaking news that's gonna turn this whole Dolph case on his head. So the reason why they want CEO Teasy, guess why? His car was at the dang crime scene. While everybody was all confused and looking over here, if you look over there, it's CEO Teasy's car. So everybody gonna be like, okay, CEO Media, what kind of car CEO Teasy drive? Well, get this. This Teasy guy from Trulla, his car is a white two-door Chevy Corvette, just like what Dolph drives, okay? But his is all white with black rims. And it goes to show that that's why them other people was saying it was a white Mustang. It makes sense now. They done seen the two-door white Benz. They done seen the two-door white Chevy Corvette and Dolph's two-door car. There's so many two-doors in the white Benz and the white Vet look alike. The suspects got the white Benz and the white Vet. They're trying to throw off all the witnesses by driving in two different directions. So now we know that, all right? So how do we know that it's Teasy's Vet? Well, the dude posted it on Instagram, and people have found that out before the whole him being a person of interest. Second of all, it's not just on his Instagram, but it was on Straight Drop Instagram, JoJo Splat Instagram, and CEO Bobby. You hear the resemblance? They all use the same name. Now, get this. Teasy don't drive. It's Teasy's car, but he lets other people drive it. And why is that? So that's how he gets pulled into this. It's like, okay, Teasy, your car here. So where were you? Why were you there? Why were you all of a sudden pulling up to the tragedy 30 seconds before it happens? And you park back there and then you take off. And the next thing is Teasy on camera? We need them camera footage because I think he was on one side of the parking lot while the white Benz pulled up to the other side of the parking lot. So we still need the Dollar General footage to figure out, the Family Dollar footage. We need the laundromat footage to figure out where Teasy's car was. If Teasy got out, who exactly was there? And now now you get to thinking like, how many other people were in on this? Because if you thought it was just the two people, remember when they first told you they got that freeze frame picture and they said, yep, it's two suspects. It's two suspects, but then they arrest four and now they want a fifth and sixth. So how many people were actually involved that they're not telling you about? These are the major key questions. And here go another thing too. Everybody start deleting them pictures of Teasy's car off their IG. Now they start doing that. So they wouldn't delete it if they didn't know that car was connected. They sloppy. We already seen all their Instagram pages. We already downloaded we screenshotted every picture they had before they deleted it. And Yo Gotti's page too. And guess what? At one point, it was a parking lot where they pulled up onto CMG people in that same car and met up with Black Youngster and Yo Gotti. And we don't know what they were doing, but they were probably trying to get signed to them or figure out how much a feature cost. And then and they were getting their CMG chains at that time, right? So Yo Gotti's throwing out all these incentives like, hey, you want a CMG chain? This is what you got to do. You want to get signed to CMG, get $1 million deal like ESTG? This is what you got to do. So these guys, they motivated by the wrong OGs in Memphis. Like, you really need to kick Yo Gotti and them out of that town because they ain't doing nothing but bringing it down. And I have sources from Memphis that say the last time they ever seen Yo Gotti help the community was like 5 years ago. And they ain't done nothing since, and they only did it back then because they had to. Now, it makes a lot of sense why that one lady was saying it was a white Mustang, because it was multiple white two-door cars leaving the scene. And now what we got to figure out was, did Teasy come out the back? Was he ever at all even close to the store Can we get the footage from before the dudes in the white Benz? Like, please drop the footage or something. Like, I just seen footage from a whole different case that happened after Dolph and is much worse, but they still show the footage. So why is it that they want to pick and choose what to show to the people? So we want to see all this stuff. They're kind of holding back on it because they don't want to admit that they moved too slow to get people about this case. You know, the fact that they thought it's 2 suspects, but right now they're sitting on 6. Does that not kind of point in the direction of like, hey, they was lying about just being 2 people. They were lying about saying they had no leads. Why would they say they have no leads, yet any of the stuff that we're discovering was on that footage that they've had this whole time? Like, this whole time they knew that TZ's car was there. That whole time they knew about the white bands, and they knew about the dudes walking in out the back of Makedas and into Family Dollar. They knew about all that. But they're not going to come and tell you the facts. They don't want to. They want to wait until they say, hey, pursuing this type of charges is better. Pursuing this person is better. You know, they'll rather get the person that's the easiest to catch out of all of them, pin it on them, and then talk to them and get them to snitch on the rest of the folks and tell them, we're going to pin this whole thing on you, Straight Drop. We're going to pin this whole thing on you, Cornelius, if you don't tell. And here's the thing about Cornelius. Did y'all know that this dude, Cornelius, is a janitor, and he work at the same temp agency as these dudes from O Block? And if Dolph and them from Chicago and this dude working with people from O Block and stuff like that, it's like, where was these, you know, these O Block guys should have known that Cornelius Smith has something planned on. Like, you think that he might have said something to these temp agency guys, right? And who knows if these temp worker guys, a lot of people that be doing temp work, it's the reason why. It's because they done had a lot of people is you know, maybe they just trying to get a job quick, but there's a majority of temp workers who got felons on their record. And so that's the type of work that they can only do. And it wouldn't surprise me if Cornelius had conspired something with his co-workers that are from O Block, that's only if O Block feels a certain type of way about Dolph. I mean, just due to the fact that he's born in Chicago, came up and ran Memphis. Memphis haters don't like him because Dolph came up quick and took over as the leader. Chicago people, if they were to hate, they could, you know, O Block people could hate maybe due to the fact that he didn't stay in Chicago and come back and give Lambos and build houses in Chicago. We don't know, but he was a toddler when he was leaving Chicago. It really wasn't up to him. So this is more information that is actually really critical. Like, we could break this down and figure out, did Cornelius Smith's co-workers from the temp agency have anything at all to do with this, or did they know that anything was going to happen before it did happen? And where were they that day? Because you have to go back and look at the people that these guys hang around and ask them, did they see this coming? Did they know that this person was involved in stuff like this? And they need to give their alibis just to make sure that there weren't no communication that day between them. So that's what's going on right now. Don't forget, TZ's car was on site where the Dolph scene was. And they waited purposely to tell you that until today. So keep that in mind. Why would they do that to us? We're trying to figure this out, and they're trying to hold back to make sure we don't know anything. So as we continue to fight justice for Dolph, man, I want to go ahead and say, you know, rest in peace to Dolph. We back his family. We back PRE and everybody. Just go ahead and throw your comments in the comment section. Give this a like, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure to tune back for another major update. Peace.